Hello, queens. I'm finally back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm bringing y'all this sultry fall look, and we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting this off by cleaning my client's face. Now that her face is all clean, I'm going to begin working on her eyebrows. So as y'all can see, I'm just brushing them out. Now I'm going in with my Nicka K brow pencil, and I'm going to be using this to outline and fill in her eyebrows. I'm taking some clear eyelash glue, and I'm going to be applying a generous amount of this into her brows, and I'm using this to lay her brow hairs down in place. To clean up her brows, I'm going in with these Nicka K concealers, and they're in the shades 01 and 08. And I believe I also went in with the shade number 10 just to darken it up a little bit. But first, as you can see, I'm going in with the shade 01, and I'm using this to clean up underneath her arch. Now that her arch is clean, I'm going in with a darker shade, and I'm using it to kind of darken up and blend the other shade throughout the front of her eyebrow. But you're going to notice with this concealer, I did not take it all the way up to the front. I've been doing a lot of my clients' brows like this lately, y'all, and I've been loving it. So now I'm going in with this buffing brush, and I'm just blending out that concealer, and then I'm going to go in with that darker shade on the top of her brow and use it to clean it up as well. Now that this brow is nice and clean, I'm just going to finish blending out this concealer and repeat the process on the other brow. For an eyeshadow base, I'm taking a little more of my Nicka K concealer, and I'm applying it all over her lids. A little of this concealer goes a long way, and it can be pretty greasy, so after I finish blending it out, I'm going in with some of my RCMA no color powder, and I'm going to be applying this throughout the front of her brows to lighten them up, but I'm also using it to set the concealer on her lids and around her brows in place. For today's eyeshadow look, I'm going in with one of my Morphe palettes. Y'all know I love me some Morphe, and I'll have the specific palette name in the description box down below. But first, I'm going in with this warm brown eyeshadow shade, and I'm using it as my transition. As y'all can see, I'm kind of applying it to the outer edge of her eye, and I'm applying it at a slant. So make sure that you just apply it as if you're doing a wing almost. I'm going in with a darker brown shade, and I'm applying it right in the center of my transition shade. I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and use it to smoke everything out. To deepen up this look a little more, I'm going in with this black eyeshadow, and I'm just applying this into her crease, and I'm going to smoke it out into the other two shadows. I'm going in with a matte white eyeshadow, and I'm using it to highlight the inner corners of her eyes. To cut her crease, I'm going in with a little bit more of my Nicka K concealer. I want to say it's in the shade 03, and I'm just taking my time with this. Y'all know I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cutting the crease, so I'm just going to let y'all watch. Once I have it cut to my satisfaction, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out that concealer, and then I'm going to go and cut the other eye. Now that both eyes are cut, I'm going in with this reddish brown eyeshadow shade, and I'm using it to blend out the end of the cut crease. To set the cut crease, I'm going in with this matte eyeshadow shade that's similar to the shade of the concealer that we use to cut her eyes, and I'm just using that to set everything in place. I'm going in with some black liquid liner, and I'm just going to do a thin line straight across her eyes. This step is optional, but I like to do it just so the lashes can blend better when we get to that point. I'm going to go in and smoke out the end of that liner using some black eyeshadow. Last but not least, I'm going in with the white pigment that's at the end of this stack, and I'm just applying it to the inner corners of her eyes just to add a little razzle dazzle. Now moving on to the face, these are the two products that I'll be priming her skin with. First, I'm going in with that Pond's moisturizer, and I'm using this to hydrate her face. I'm going in with this thick foundation brush, and I'm using it to really work that moisturizer into her skin. Now I'm going in with some of my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm using this to prime her skin. I also went on top of that with a small amount of my calamine lotion. Y'all, we filmed this video in the summertime and we're in Texas. Need I say more? Okay, it's hot outside. I gotta make sure that I really prime this face. So I applied this to basically all the areas of her face that would typically get oily. And now I'm just going back in with that foundation brush, and I'm using it to spread it. I'm taking some of my Nicka K concealer, and I'm using this to balance out her skin before we get into the foundation. For her foundation, I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade Spicy Brown. To highlight her face, I'm going in with my Nicka K concealer, and I believe this is the shade 06 or 07. To contour her nose and her cheekbones, I'll be using my Juvia's Place foundation stick, and I'll have the shade name in the description box. I'm going in with a powder puff, and I'm using it to blend out the remaining concealer underneath her eyes. I'm setting that concealer in place using my Morphe loose powder in the shade Banana Rich. To set the contoured areas of her face, I'm going in with my Black Radiance Press Powder in the shade Black Coffee. To set the remaining areas of her face, I'm going in with my Fit Me pressed powder, and it's either in the shade Toffee or Truffle. It's one of those. I'll try to have the correct one in the description box for y'all. I'm taking a little bit of an orange and a burgundy tone blush, and I'm just applying them to the apples of her cheeks. I'm taking some black gel liner, and I'm going to be using it to line all across her waterline. Now I'm taking some of those brown eyeshadows that I used on her eyes, and I'm using them to smoke out her lower lash line. When I finish my clients' under eyes, I always like to have them look at me just so that I can ensure that everything is symmetrical as possible. Y'all know I'm a perfectionist, but once I have it to my liking, I just go in and dust away all of the powder. Now I'm just going to go ahead and spray everything in place using this Tower 28 facial mist. And then I'm going in with lashes. I went ahead and cut them to fit her eyes off camera. I'm adding a small amount of highlighter to her face while her lashes are drying, and once that's all finished, we're going to be moving on to lips. To outline her lips, I'm going in with these two cream foundations from Juvia's Place. I'll have both of the shade names in the description box for y'all. Now I'm just going in with some of my Absolute New York liquid lipstick, and it's in the shade Terracotta. I'm going on top of that with my OZ Lab lip gloss, and once I have it all applied, I'm just going to have her press her lips together to help me blend everything out. I'm going to finish blending out the edges using this disposable lip wand, and once I have that all done, that'll be the final look, and we'll be stepping into the grand reveal, so I'm going to let y'all watch. Okay, you ready to see?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, girl. See? Girl, I see why you be telling me I need to go somewhere.
Girl, because you got to go somewhere with that now. Okay, queens, we made it to the end of the video, and as y'all can see, this tutorial was a success. Every time I do her makeup, y'all, I always try to get her out the house. I be like, girl, you need to go somewhere. So I hope she went somewhere with this look, and I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. I should have more on the way. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye, queens.
Bye.